Okay, so we're going to tackle rear brake pads on the Honda Civic Type R. This is a 54 plate, 2004. So we're going to take the wheel off. We've jacked it up on the jacking arm under there, the little mount on the sill, and on the metal bit, nothing else. I'm going to whip the wheel off. Now on this one we've got to remember to release the handbrake before we go any further, so we need to just drop it in gear and put a chock under the wheel at the front, stop it rolling. So a clear view of the caliper now. We can see the brake pads are getting quite worn. They've started squealing, so on this one we're going to take out 12mm bolt there, 12mm bolt there, release the two top and bottom. The caliper will then be able to just lever this face away, and then we will need a retraction tool to wind in the piston on the caliper. Get one from Machine Mart or somewhere like that, laser tool for about 30 quid. Anyway, let's get on with this. So it's quite tight to prise the caliper away, but we've managed to do it just because you've got the brake pipes quite tight, and the handbrake cable at the bottom is all intact as well, but it's mainly the brake pipe at the top. We've just got to be careful not to stretch it too much. So that's that loose, so we can whip these worn out pads out, and now that's the tool. You might even, if you haven't got the tool, you might be able to just rotate it with a massive screwdriver and push at the same time. You'll probably find that would do it, but it's got to be rotated clockwise while you're squeezing it to get it back. So the brake rewind tool is in place, and as I rotate that, it turns the piston. You just got to be really careful not to pucker the rubber boot on the caliper, but take it nice and steady and it will go back in. Now it's going in really easily on this one, so you might do it with a screwdriver, but like I say, the piston retraction tool's the proper job. But like I say, if you haven't got one, you might be able to try and do it without. The brake pads I've just taken out the back, you can actually see the squealer plate there is dead in line with the pad, and that's how we came to changing them. They were squealing, so it did its job. So we checked the brake discs. We can see that there's a bit of corrosion on this, but there's no massive lip. It's not too bad, so the disc's okay. I'm quite happy with that. The other one is to check for the sliders, make sure that they retract and compress nice and smoothly, top and bottom, which they are doing. So everything's great. So we can just clean these faces up. We'll grease the pads and stick the new pads in with the wear indicator always on the inside. One thing we need to check is, as we're retracting the calipers, the brake fluid will obviously raise up in the tank, so we don't want that to overflow and make a right mess. So just make sure you've got enough room in your tank to compress the calipers. So that's what my brake retraction kit looks like. It comes in a big set like that with loads of different adapters on it. Here's a new brake pad. We're just going to put some copper slip on the face. It's going to slide on that side, on the other side, clean up, pop back in. Once you've retracted the caliper, got the new pads in, the thing you've got to remember is the cross has got to be level. It's got to be in line with the caliper, because there's lugs on the back of the brake pad that it's got to sit into. On that side there's a pin, and it won't go in if it's not in line. So it's quite tight to get back over the pads again, but now we're in, we're lined up top and bottom. We can put the bolts back in with a little bit of loctite, and jobs are good. There we have, wheel back on, all bolted up, calipers in. All we need to do now is press the brake pedal, make sure it's nice and hard, and then just pull the handbrake and make sure the handbrake doesn't need adjusting, We'll lower the jack and do the same the other side.